Holy smokes, folks. We are late. So sorry, but we are here at last. What's going on is, what is going? Tell the kids. I'm getting a new computer for one thing, and this thing doesn't open up a lot of tabs. If you're going to do a live stream the way we do here, I'd like to have a million streams just pop, 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 pop. It'd be great and convenient. But as it is, I run the risk of I got an all-in-one Hewlett-Packard. So I'm going to give this to my son, and away we go. So much for that. We were bullshitting about all this. We're talking about cameras and all the rest of it. Okay, so here we are, looking good, Blake. A little red in the face, but still looking good. Okay,
orange back here too.
Yeah, you got Mr. Kool-Aid. Tell the kids what the background's all about. Tell them. Let's open up with that.
It's again a symbol of my favorite political party here in and I say that facetiously here in British Columbia. The British Columbia New Democratic Party their colors are orange. So this is the government constantly telling us there's no problems, everything's great, we're going to take care of it, and it's drink their Kool-Aid. That's their political colors. They're orange, and this is what the province looks like now. It's falling apart. Homelessness, drug addiction, death by fentanyl. It's death by MAID. Healthcare system collapsing. The economy's collapsing here.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare. It really is. So, and yeah, that's why it's there. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, but they're saying drink it with the big jug full of it.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing. There was a post that came out across the X platform, and the fellow said, America has declared Antifa a terrorist organization. Should Canada follow suit? And I go, does it really matter up here? We got 36.5% of the Canadian population just got here 10 years ago or less. So what is this? What kind of country is this anyway? It just seems to be a stopgap. Kind of a siphon. We might as well be Neo in our little battery pod plugged into the Matrix. Just so much. Oh, I'm going to have a poop. I got to have my little poop because I'm a biomass, and that's it. Just siphon the money.
Little bureaucrat standing there weighing it, making sure you're not doing too much to harm the environment.
It's freaking horrible. So. Whether whatever Canada does, I don't think it matters at all.
Well, our premier is an Antifa guy. I had no idea. David Eby, he was the guy back in 2010. That was acting as the lawyer to help the Black Bloc rioters in Vancouver during the 2010 Olympic Games. There was also, I think, a G7 meeting at the time, and they were rioting all through the streets, smashing everything. And he was providing protection for those rioters from the Black Bloc, which, please, people, Antifa, Black Bloc is Antifa. Just so if you look it up, that's who they are. That's the people in all black, the masks. They have the black umbrellas. That's kind of their thing. Anyways, he was helping them get out of jail. He was providing them all the tools, legal tools, to do things to get them out of jail. And now he's our premier. Our premier is an Antifa guy. For crying out loud.
And this happens all the time, right?
Well, he's not even the truth is these guys aren't anti-fascist. These guys are full authoritarian, regardless of what political stripe you want to say. These guys want total control. But anyways, that's you're right. Canada is, all levels of government. We've gone all in to this full.
We're so corrupted. Canada is so infected. We got Chinese influencers all over the place. We're bowing the knee. We're cocked by the World Economic Forum, so we do their bidding. Half of our parliament, or at least half the cabinet, are WEF, junior volunteers. Sounds like, junior JA. They call it Junior Achievement, the Junior Chamber of Commerce. I'm 14. I'm learning how government works. Down out in Nashville. What's up, beautiful people? Down and out. We love you. We love Nashville. We love America. Good news in America. Say goodbye to Indigenous Peoples Day. Now, full disclosure, I'm quarter Native American myself. Got the DNA and the cousins to prove it. But the point is, Trump has come in and he said, no more of this nonsense. We are going to make this. We're going to make this good. We're going to call it Columbus Day, which is what it originally was anyway. Which I can only support this in a full measure. So in order to, you want to hear the president himself talk about Columbus Day, Blake. I know you've dealt with our First Nations people professionally, intimately, a number of Native girlfriends in your past. We don't talk too much about that. But anyway, here we go, Blake. we're gonna make the screen big. Are we sharing this? Hang on. Let's share this proper. Holy smokes. All right.
I'm not getting a signal that it's, let's see, are we on X?
Okay, yeah, hopefully.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Okay, good. Let's rock and roll. Here's the president.
This is your favorite president, or as they call me, Chief Golden Eagle, and I wanted to wish you a very happy Columbus Day. I knew Christopher Columbus very well. He was a great friend of mine. I called him Chris, and he did a tremendous job. But the radical left-wing crazy Democrats want to call it Indigenous Peoples Day, and I get along very well with the indigenous people. They love me. They call me Chief Golden Eagle. They say, Chief, what are we going to do about these crazy radical left-wing Democrats like Lion Liz Warren? I call her Pocahontas. Chief Spitting Bull. She's a horrible person and a loser, and the only woman who has ever failed a DNA test. Nobody ever thought that was possible, but she failed a DNA test. What a disgrace. Jiggly Belly Pritzker. I call him Chief Eats Too Much. Chief Broken Scale. Every scale he steps on says, ouch, you're hurting me. Please get off. He's a huge guy. He keeps stuffing his face. He's a huge guy and a stupid guy. And Peso Store Obama, right? You look at him in his sombrero. El Hakimo, Chief Tiny Teepee. He has a very small teepee. I have a huge teepee. Everybody knows about it. He has a tiny teepee. You know what I'm talking about. And he ought to be ashamed of himself. And he is ashamed of himself. Chief Tiny Teepee El Hakimo. But we are sending out an executive order via smoke signal commemorating today as Columbus Day. We're making it Columbus Day again, celebrating my tremendous friend, Christopher Columbus, and all of his incredible achievements. So happy Columbus Day. God bless you. God bless America. And thank you for your attention to this matter.
All right. There's the president. Holy smokes. He's looking great. There's some controversy right now. The yellow press, we call them yellow journalism. They're at it again. They've done Time Magazine reluctantly. Here's the thing, right? Trump came out. The big story this week has to be, even if this peace deal falls to pieces, right? And they're back at it causing trouble.
Yeah.
Trump got the remaining surviving hostages out. All male, which is significant. All men, the poor ladies, they couldn't release them. I think something may have happened other than them just killing them. But I think other atrocities were doubtless committed. So it's horrific. But that achievement alone, getting all the hostages out, I think one of the morons on The View, for the 5 people that watch that, hair gets in your mouth. So, the 5 people watch The View, one of them, Sunny Holcall or somebody, she was saying, I'm going to wear a Trump hat. I'll wear a MAGA hat all day if Trump can get those hostages out. Well, he got them out. Blake, I think it's a huge achievement, just the hostages alone. Yeah, he's very good, that guy. People say he does a better Trump than Trump. He captures all the nuance. He kind of goes where Trump goes and reiterates kind of stuff Trump says. Is absolute genius. Blake, thoughts on the peace deal? I couldn't be more proud of him. And again, in light of this whole Nobel Prize things, I could care less about Nobel Peace Prize. But in a fair world, in a just world, yeah, Trump would get it. It's an amazing achievement. His administration worked extremely hard. Huge points to Marco Rubio and the negotiating team. Secretary of State Marco doing an incredible job. I couldn't be more proud. Big news, Hitler frees Jewish prisoners from Hamas. Hitler's creating peace in the Middle East, literal Hitler. fuck you, libtards everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, Blake, go ahead, take it over.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what the media, they're still working as if Biden's still in control. It's bizarre that they continue to run this schlock. But as you said, like the Time Magazine, I mean, you said The View, does it have any viewers left? And the same with Time Magazine. Does Time Magazine have any readers left? I mean, how many people buy Time comparatively maybe 40 years ago? But the point is that Trump's done so many things so quickly. And I don't think, and this is probably the best comment I've heard from people who read history, right?
Yeah.
It's not what you're seeing right now that's going to matter. It's going to, he's setting in motion pieces that will have, it'll take time to see its full consequences of the positive outcome, right? That's the thing. As long as people follow the same path and get out of the, don't try and muck it up. But we got to remember, Dems and rhinos and far left lunatics and globalists have been running the show pretty much unabated since the 1980s. In a lot of ways, Trump's like the second coming of Reagan. There's very similar path. Remember, coming out of Iran, the hostages.
Yeah.
Reagan basically.
Helicopters in the desert, Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, and the disaster. Yeah, and that Jimmy Carter's helicopters crashing to do.
Yeah.
And then you have Biden's Afghanistan fiasco, right?
Yeah,
leaving.
Big problem.
So I mean, they seem to not be able to manage things. But some people say, well, probably the intent is to do that purposely because they hate America. They seem to hate America. Like all their policy seems to go against America. So Trump's going opposite direction of what the uniparty even people try to push, the elites, the establishment types that have been wanting to keep going down this path of forever wars. And I think Trump's he's coming in with like, listen, I don't come from you guys' background. I am a business guy. I think everybody should be well off. Everybody should be able to make money, have a life, enjoy life, own a home, have food, not starving, have, be able to get medical attention from that monies that you've earned and all this kind of stuff. But when everyone's killing each other and starving and living, this is where the chaos is in place. And I think he's done a lot to lay the groundwork that you'll see over the next few years start to really come to fruition. Right. And, as long as some bozo doesn't get into power after him, I
don't think that's going to happen. I think part of the deal is secure everything. Midterms are looking good. The Democrat Party is losing the war for registered voters. The Republicans are outpacing. Trump's popularity has gained since the lockdown. His numbers are up since the lockdown. Add to that peace in the Middle East. It's getting really hard for people to root against this guy or go, he's a bad man when, oh, what? You don't like peace or you don't want hostages released, you motherfucker? Certainly Joe Biden didn't do it. Yeah. Okay, now we're talking about Time Magazine, Blake, just so people know what the hell I'm referencing. Here's Time Magazine's take on the cover. We go big, boom. So let's go here. Let's see. Yeah, that's nice and big. So they chose this angle, the hair up there, the baldness here, blah, blah, the thin streak, a little bit of hair.
And looking up the nostrils.
Yeah. And so Trump goes, who wants to have their camera? Like when I broadcast, I don't broadcast like, up fuck like that. Nobody's going to fucking do that. Time Magazine wrote a relatively good story about me, says the president, but the picture may be the worst of all time. They disappeared my hair. Then they had something floating on top of my head that looked like a floating crown, an extremely small one. Really weird. Never really liked taking pictures for underneath angles, but this is a super bad picture and deserves to be called out. What are they, blah, blah, thinking? What the hell are they doing? But there's the image they went with. Well, we do know, right? It's tactical. It's strategic. Yeah. It's meant to do or convey an image. Anything to belittle, anything to devalue an absolute glorious achievement. Getting those people out and have you seen any of the reconciliation videos of the prisoners being reunited with their family? If you don't have a tear in your eye seeing that, we're lucky we got 20 people alive out of that fiasco. I mean, it's absolutely devastating, horrific.
Well, and if anybody in the world can say has sympathy for these people, you've got a screw loose in your head. The fact is that they needed hostages in the first place. I'm sorry, as soon as somebody says that I'm going to hold people hostage and threaten to kill them if you don't give us what we want, those are terrorists, those are criminals. And that's how you treat them.
Well, and the people they were carrying, most of them, a lot of them were civilian people. And of course, the women didn't survive. They killed all the women.
Yeah, because
whatever else could have happened.
Exactly. Right? We can't imagine the horrendous that the women went through. That's for sure.
I don't really know what Sue's got planned here. I've just got the link. She's, not able to help us. So I'm going to take a shot at this and see whatever it is.
All right. We'll hold our breath.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is a beautiful shot. I love this. Now, this is the way you do a proper shot or a magazine cover for the president, Blake. This is from the Jerusalem Post. And that's how you do it. God bless the peacemaker, the Jerusalem Post. President Trump. That's a cover. That's the way it should be done. You honor the man. Somebody did and I forget who it was. I'm out there on the platform, X platform. Somebody was saying, no credit to Bibi Netanyahu, no credit to Hamas, God forbid. Every ounce of the credit goes to President Trump, his administration. They're the ones that made this deal happen. Without them, it wouldn't have happened. It's Trump's, the art of the deal. It's masterful. And here's something else. If you want to put a tinfoil hat, Blake, something that's going across kind of as an undercurrent, an understory on all of this is that this is all kind of pre-planned. This was strategic. This isn't just by default or, Trump stumbling in. It was a plan. It was laid out. And it was executed perfectly, and it got a job done. And people are saying that some of the deep state power in Israel has been crippled by this move, that it signals a new dawn, the kind of language Trump is talking about, that a lot of the under power, behind the scenes stuff was crippled, kneecapped at this time by the president and his administration. I tend to believe talk like that. I have a bias. I like this president. I love this president. I like him as a man. I respect him as a man. I love him as a president. And God bless him. And no, I don't believe he's a Christian person. I pray that he would become one, though. I really do. But boy, I tell you, if you have faith in God, I believe God is using President Trump in a very powerful way. It's reshaping our world and combating its light into darkness. And, I couldn't be happier. I just praise God for this man. All right. Yeah. Blake, thoughts? Yeah, dark to light, Sue.
Yeah, I agree 100%. He's doing... you might not even realize you're being used by God. And that's a big part of what people don't recognize. Even if you don't believe, you may be part of the plan. You are part of the plan. Things are happening, if you like it or not. Yeah. And in this case, I think Trump comes with, a bag full of good intentions, right? He's trying to do the right thing. I think he understands his constitution. I think he understands that you can't have a prosperous and happy people if you've got wars all over the place. I'm not going to give any credit. I mean, what really infuriated me through this process in the last few days is the UK, France, even Canada giving accolades to their own people like they had something to do with it.
Yeah, they had nothing to do with it.
But they're all over there praising their foreign dignitaries, praising themselves. Yeah. Oh, look at, we did this. Some of them did say, Trump, they did give Trump his credit where credit's due for obvious reasons.
This is all Trump. The Jerusalem Post doesn't have a picture of fucking Art Carney on there.
Yeah.
It's got a picture
Macron
of Trump.
Or Keir Starmer.
Trump, I guess Starmer wanted to get in or muzzle in on Trump. Trump told him to go fuck himself, basically. He elbowed him out, said, get out of here. I don't want to deal with you. Go away. And so the power that the United States has right now, the influence it wields, is unheralded. I mean, this is like World War II level stuff.
Well, hopefully and essentially, to fix a situation, I guess you have to take a Marshall Plan approach to the Palestinians, right, in Gaza and the West Bank. Is you can't just keep throwing money at it and expecting something to happen. You actually have to go in there and start doing it yourself.
Well, Hamas has got to be utterly broken, right?
Yeah.
We got to get rid of the
whatever iterations they try to create
exactly
later.
Or whatever rebrand they come out with. Exactly right, Blake. Yeah, I mean, there's too much common sense for the liberals that occasionally pop in here to even comprehend. I mean, it's just.
I mean, probably I think the biggest change that could happen in the Middle East right now. This is huge, but I would be even bigger is if Iran could somehow have another revolution, getting rid of the mullahs. I mean,
there's influence. There are signs that there's a lot of internal turmoil in Iran. They're trying to put it. What do we know about kingdoms and powers and entities, Blake? All these despotic regimes, what happens to each and every one of them? Has history taught us nothing?
Yeah, they all collapse. Yeah, internally.
They all collapse. They all go. And
Rome.
You think that they'll never die. The sun will never set. Trust me, the sun will set, especially when it's the despotic regime. No matter how powerful and how in control they may appear to be, ultimately they collapse under their own hubris, under their own corruption. Unsustainable.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me a bird's eye view on Canada. How long have we got?
Under 5 years.
Whoa. Yeah. That is crazy. 5 years is like yesterday. That is like 5 years is this, Blake.
Yeah, I know it's a blink of an eye, but we've heard it. We've seen bureaucrats and let's just say these would be loyalist bureaucrats, and even the media was trying to protect them, to try and make it sound like, well, he's just he's looking for a job, within the Conservatives. When the public accounts, one of the top brass is saying Canada is in deep crap financially. It can't sustain its current levels of debt. I don't believe all the Moody's crap and all the AAA ratings and AA and an A minus, things like that they kind of give for that.
Oh yeah, but
that's all being run by the globe.
Right?
That's being run by the globalists and their central bankers, and
they can say whatever the fuck they want to say, right? They can,
exactly.
They can bullshit.
They are the ones that created the subprime crash, right? I mean, the same people who write that kind of debt were also the people who said that was okay. But essentially, Canada, the only salvation Canada has to go on its own is to unite with America. And I'm going to say that it needs to constitutionalize itself like America. It has to have a free and open, true free market agreement with the United States, which means essentially we work into an economic union, much like the EU, but freer. None of the bureaucracy and the crap that they see in Europe, and literally create that economic security and currency union so that, one, it saves us a pile of money. Both governments, we can share on so many things, defense and trade and all the things that we want to do. Just like Trump's saying, Canada's like, you've got an open invitation to join the United States. We're not going to annex you. He's never said that, folks. He's never said annexed you Canada. But the big thing to watch is next year. Right, 2026 is a pivotal year for Canada. It's a make or break year because if Alberta votes to leave, Trump will be there. He already said, his administration's already said they're going to give signs that they will recognize an independent Alberta, which is the first step before statehood. Right. And that's exactly what will happen. They will become like a territory with a territorial governor, and they will be like Hawaii in 1949.
Oh, shit. If that ever happens, I'm moving. I can't tell you how quickly I'd get my ass into Alberta.
Well, we know what will happen, right? Canada's GDP survives significantly off of Alberta oil. Alberta leaves, it will be the house of cards will go full collapse. It will be like the dominoes.
Yeah, well, British Columbia is going to be totally isolated. America, the South to our east and to the north because we got Alaska sitting up there.
Yeah. So Canada is going to need to have its own revolution to save itself, or it's going to be done on them by Alberta. Alberta is going to call the shots here, if you like it or not. If you're not going to give them their pipelines, you're not going to allow them to prosper. They will take their resources, they'll run it through the U.S. The U.S. is more than happy to have them part of the United States, which is said Western Canada would collapse. I'm sure Eby would try to be a Castro, but he would last all of minutes because most of BC, the interior BC, will leave with Alberta. Mark my words.
Yeah.
Will leave with Alberta, which would leave an enclave of progressives in Vancouver, Lower Mainland, and Southern Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
The rest will be want to go. And it will be, well, we're done. And, you've got some people that are, and I know people that are very proud Canadians. And you and I have talked about it. We've been proud Canadians. We're not proud of what Canada is now. Canada is a wreck.
It's unrecognizable, Blake.
It's not what it was at all. It's not the same country. And matter of fact, when you have a government that doesn't even follow its own constitutional responsibilities, that is scary.
Yeah,
they ignore it completely. We have a kleptocracy. They're robbing it blind. They know what they're doing. That's what I was saying. I still believe Carney's part of this plan. I mean, he's part of the plan. He got beat as a general working with the WF. He recognizes the Brookfield guys, the BlackRock guys, Vanguard, State Street, all the big $1 trillion asset management companies. They are going with Trump, and that's why Canada will not stand on its own any longer, because I just think it's just too divided too. There's just too much division, and all the power bases of enclaves of far radicalized progressives, the shock troops for the WF, control our cities, and even like the bastions of Calgary and places like that are moving more and more into the direction of the progressive side, and until you get into the suburbs and into the rural areas.
Well, because of the influx of newcomers and all the rest, and we got Nimshi or whatever the hell his name is, that was there. He's out now, but whatever the hell's in there. But I couldn't agree more. I think once they go, and Trump's like, he's got a big crowbar, right? Once that door opens a bit, Trump will be right in there with Alberta, putting some leverage with that crowbar to get it out the rest of the way, because it's a real prize if America could get control.
Well, especially at the end of 2026. I mean, the Kuzma ends, right? It goes into this new to go. So you've got midterms in the U.S. You've got a major vote on independence to leave Canada by Alberta. So if Canada doesn't come and pay out, not delay, because don't believe we'll do a pipeline deal, and they do a pipeline deal, but it's 10 years down the road, right? That's what liberals do typically. They'll tell you, they'll promise something and never deliver. And matter of fact, take it away down the road.
Yeah. And as a nation, Canada's only been around since 1867, kids. And in world history and the formation of countries, that's yesterday. Okay.
Yep.
So it is a very, very young country, even as, we're heading into, 2067 for our 200th. But, the point is as far as countries go, Canada's still the new kid on the block. There's no guarantees it's going to survive in the form. It already hasn't survived in the form it once was. Our coat of arms are not reflective of the country that currently stands at all. And with 36.5% of the population here in 10 years or under, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So there is no core identity. Trudeau was absolutely right when he said there's nothing joining the whole thing together. There are no shared core values. There's no shared history. There's certainly no shared ethnicity or values in common. Person A, how are things in Canada? Person B, I can't complain. Person A, that doesn't sound too bad. Person B, no, I can't complain unless they take my internet, which is the problem. Because, and Sue's got a couple of links for you. I know she had it here. I'll take a look at it. Jerusalem Post is happening. Hostages free. Bill C8 and C9. Let's see what Sue got for me here.
Yeah,
I haven't even looked at it, Blake. We'll just
1984 at full.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll explain it once you have a look.
All right, now it's full size. Okay, so Bill C and Bill C9 are the most Orwellian pieces of legislation ever introduced by this liberal government. C8 allows Melanie Joly to ban you from the internet without a trial or warrant.
No due process. Yep.
C9 allows Canadians to be charged with a hate crime for social media posts. Yikes. Okay, so these bills, Bill C8, C9, this tandem, this terrible twosome, gruesome twosome, kind of like what England's facing right now. Huge story we're following. Tommy Robinson is on trial for, quote, terrorism charges, if you can believe that. That is how fucking lost the United Kingdom is. To put Tommy Robinson on trial for terrorism charges. The guy's never blown up a bus. Then if you're going to terrorize, why don't you really terrorize? Start taking limbs and heads and really do terrorism. If you're going to lay the charge down.
Because if you do that, you only get a few years in prison, and you did it because you were mentally ill, apparently. And
to me, it's crazy, Blake. So, thoughts on Tommy Robinson, the terrorist thing, and thoughts also on Canada vis-a-vis the United Kingdom, and why Canada so far has been able to escape these draconian measures. My feeling, it's the United States is acting as a huge. It's kind of like there's this great old, I use this illustration a lot, a Fantastic Four comic book cover, and it shows the Fantastic Four walking down Yancey Street, which is part of the mythos of the comic book. But overarching the skyline is Dr. Doom, this huge figure of Dr. Doom, and the Fantastic Four are little figures. It's kind of like Canada are the four little figures up front. And overarching is Trump keeping an eye on everything that's going down in Canada. What do you think? Go ahead.
Well, I'm just happy people care a little bit what's going on in Canada. Otherwise, we don't, as you said, we're not in the psyche of the average American, right? They still think Canada is this place where nice people are, and they say sorry and they say A. Yeah. I don't say A, do I? But anyways, that might be more of an Ontario thing. I don't say a boot. I don't say a boot. I don't wear a boot.
Yeah, we got boots on a boat, and it'll be here in about 5 minutes.
I think the power that social media has, the reason why they want to shut it down is it has brought power to the people. Where before it was centrally controlled, we used to have, I'll walk this back a little bit. We used to have local community newspapers, local community radio stations, local community television networks that were not connected to large networks in the sense that centralized media. And we saw over the last 20, 30 years here in Canada, this consolidation of media, the consolidation of the newspapers, consolidation of radio, consolidation. That's why the U.S., they broke free first before the internet really broke, and that was talk radio. Talk radio kept America free because people would call in and they would keep it that sort of open line where you could hear from the average person. And that was kind of like the precursor to what the internet's done. No longer can be controlled by.
Okay. Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about trouble and trending irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these things simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Our greatest responsibility.
Yeah, right. We are Borg. Resistance is futile.
So, so nothing underscores the truth of that more of your point, Blake, of how everything. And by the way, Republicans, take note. A number of Fox station subsidiaries, all part of the same thing. Be careful. Be mindful of controlled opposition. Go ahead, Sue, producer.
James Woods quote on there on Antifa is just like that.
Oh,
We're all quoting about
oh yeah,
Antifa.
James
Yeah.
Winston's got one. Let's take a look
Yeah.
at that.
Oh,
That would be kind of fun.
mostly peaceful protesters still. They
Yeah, I
can't
mean
get
that
rid of that.
nonsense. Yeah, let me see if I can find that.
No, it's on in your.
Oh, you
links.
got it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is how good this woman is. She's way ahead of the curve. Okay, complicit media, is that
No,
the one?
there
Betty
is no
Johnson.
Antifa.
Oh, there is no Antifa. Real James Woods. Okay, this is perfect. All right, here we go. Pause. This will be fun. So again, it's the same game plan, Blake. With the same message being repeated, because the talking point goes out, and then the idea repeat it, so it becomes the mantra. And then really, that's all we're looking at is some kind of mantra. Let's listen to these fuckers.
There's no Antifa. This is an entirely imaginary organization. There is not an Antifa.
Like, I don't even know what Antifa is. There is no group.
It's not even like far-right groups like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. Compared to right-wing extremists, Antifa-linked violence is rare and limited.
It isn't an organization. It is a in many ways mythology.
It's not like the Proud Boys or the Oath Keepers, sort of defined terrorist organizations with leadership that leads violence.
It's not a highly organized movement. It's a moniker. It's not a unified group like the Proud Boys are. Things like Antifa are things that are thought up.
It's all in this guise of going after Antifa, which is nothing. There's no organization called Antifa.
Nobody's a member of Antifa because it doesn't exist. They are just declaring into existence something that doesn't exist.
There is no Antifa organization, so maybe that's good for social media, but it really is non-existent.
They exist on the internet in chat rooms and in 4chan and Discord and places like that, where they run discussion boards, trade tactics, documents, things like that. But none of them are called Antifa.
All right, so there is no Antifa or Antifa, depending on your pronunciation.
Don't believe your eyes. Don't believe your eyes.
Yeah.
Just listen to us. Don't believe what you're seeing. Those Molotov cocktails hitting the side of the building. Don't believe it. It's not organized. But they have a public relations arm. And now lately, if you've seen the latest photos, they have them standing wearing those dinosaur blow-up.
Oh yeah, they're wearing.
Trying to look all cute, and they're safe, and they're not. I mean, it's BS. It's totally organized, but it's not as organized as people think. In the sense, it's more like a cell structure. That's how they've done it. But there is a leadership structure through it. There's an information chain through it.
Of course, they've got a lot of the same signage universally that's crossing boundaries, international lines, not just state lines, but international boundaries. So Antifa Canada will have the same signage that they're showing off in Oregon State, or, because there are some power centers extremely strong in blue cities because they're allowed to thrive there and operate. They're crippled in the red states. That's why we don't see them there in red controlled cities. Right?
Well, and I would look, if you look into the control mechanisms, look to some of the public sector unions and they're effective. They pay for these kinds of people to go and show up at these protests. They're paid protesters. They advertise to protest. You get paid to show up. Like, you'll see it in Craigslist. You'll see it in Facebook Marketplace. There's been time and time again where they're paying people to show up. So it's not just, so it's being organized, it's being funded. And I think that's the point. There is an organization. Again, it was the Black Bloc is what people talked about originally, what they used to go by that moniker. And but yeah, I mean, essentially what you're seeing is the power of media that can seduce people into believing that things are normal. Don't believe your eyes. Don't believe what you're hearing. And quite frankly, if they do what they're planning to do in Canada with this law, all I'm going to say this is, gentlemen, start your engines, because you will see, I think, a revolution in Canada similar to what happened with the trucker convoy. And it will come from those guys again, because I can tell you right now, I don't think the population would stand up to what's happening in the UK. I think those of us who are on the right, if you want to call it, I call it the classic, it's more of the sane people, because we're also allied with traditional liberals, not the socialists, not the radical left, not the progressives, but we're in alliance with classical liberals and conservatives and libertarians for the most part. Many of us who were in the middle have now been shoved all the, they say we're all far right. That's how crazy this is. And this is the machine behind it, the media, constantly moving the goalposts, making you and more isolated. But social media is the danger to them. They want to shut it down. And the fact that in Bill C-8, that a minister can strip you of your rights to free speech and access to tools that has none of their business. The internet's none of their business. It doesn't belong to them to ban you from it. They can't ban you from a phone. That's private property. But we have learned in Canada, apparently private property rights don't really exist. And I think that's going to be the biggest concern watching this. Are we going to see a UK style Stasi police banging on first it starts as harassment, banging on your door, warning you. Then the next step is they start grabbing people, putting them in jail. Then they come back out. Then the third step is actually put people in jail for a long time, which means they get in front of a judge. But what Jolie's going to be able to do is, if she can strip you of all access to all internet things, which means your online banking, everything. You can't even take your cell phone connection, everything. You will be completely deprived of communication unless you want to go and string up a wax string and a couple cans on it. But even if you did and talked to your neighbor and told them what was happening, you could be charged for telling the public what's happening to you. Have you ever heard of that before? I am not allowed to tell the public what's happening to me because the government says they take this all away from me. So that's Bill C-8, the stripping. Yeah, different Antifa from the 1930s than today.
Yeah.
The Antifa today are actually the fascists, in my opinion. They are
the brown shirts, right?
Yeah, well, they've gaslighting people into believing that they're fighting against fascists when they are actually fighting for fascism.
One of my favorite clips, so when we talk about media and the role they play, and a lot of people are so ignorant of this, particularly people on the left, because they aren't aware of this shit. Our people know. It's a famous clip for us. We've seen it a lot, but it's worth going over again. This dates back to the 1970s. It's fantastic. Here we go. I'm just going to take it from here, and away we go. Get the volume.
Foreign country. Now we're looking at that very carefully.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal?
We do have people who submit pieces to American journals.
Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks?
This, I think, gets into the kind of getting into the details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in executive session.
So we don't want to talk about it.
No.
You got any people in the CIA on our television sets doing stuff? Senator, and he leans over and he goes, I think we probably better ixnay that one.
Well, I mean, look at the war effort. Look at the war media that came out during World War II and the war media or the movie production industry for the Vietnam War. Even though it started off, they were trying to create public support. So it's well known that they fund these operations both in news, both in television programming and radio programming. I mean, I remember hearing a John Wayne interview about Green Berets, right? The movie Green Berets, which was about
Scott Sulu from Star Trek. He's a gay guy now, and he goes, oh, but anyway, go on, Blake.
But there was a classic example of trying to drum up support for the Vietnam War. Right. And so the funding is there. So they're clearly involved in Hollywood production. They clearly have been involved for a long time. Propaganda's been around forever.
Yeah, but not only that, but when you get control of an anchor desk and you get your message put out, we already saw the example of every little station. You were talking about the old days with the private local stations working their own little thing, telling their own stuff. Oh, look, it's Patch's Pals out here in KVOS Saffin World. So everything was regionalized. Now you just get the talking points. They come in from a centralized database. Some mind is getting the word out, and everything's being repeated ad nauseum. And again, Republicans, take note. Fox, all the Fox News affiliates were included right alongside ABC, CBS, NBC. It's the same gangsters, all the same game. Think for yourself. Put that independent thinking cap on. And so when you've got this thing with the government in play in the 70s, it's obvious they're still in place, still influencing. The cover of Time magazine is all you need to see to let you know about that. Time magazine is a horrific publication. It's been used for a lot of propaganda over the years, a lot of it. Remember the little girl looking up at Trump? You're shutting my border down because it's little Maria, from El Salvador. And so it's propaganda, all propaganda.
Yeah, whatever happened to the hippies who all said don't trust anybody over 30, right? They're now all like 70 and they're running the media.
They're running it all. Now here's the deal, Blake. The beauty in this, the silver lining in this dark cloud, is they're losing their influence. Nobody's watching this stuff anymore. Their numbers are down. They're basically the reserve of the baby boomers. I can't set the clock on my VCR. I guess I'll just tune into CNN, which, interestingly enough, in Canada, when you buy a basic cable package, we're going to give you for free, included with that is CNN. But I want Fox. I want Next News Network.
Well, that's channel 856.
Yeah, you got to pay for that out of pocket. We're not supporting that. You can have that, but you got to pay for it. We're going to give you CNN and CBC and CTV, you lucky little gopher, and we'll even throw in Global News Network for you as well. And so it's all this. But again, to reiterate, they're losing their influence. Their numbers are all down. Their numbers are all down. Social media is the way to go, and it's taken over. And a lot of people are getting their news. Certainly, a lot of people aren't getting news through here. It was about we got about 60, 70 views on this thing, but they're getting it through the big centers, the alt-right media. People like Charlie Kirk. Happy birthday, Charlie Kirk, October 14th. God bless. God rest Charlie Kirk. We love Charlie and never to be forgotten. The guy's a martyr for right. And he was an incredible witness for the Lord. And that's how he wanted to be remembered. And that's by and large how he's going to politics secondary. For me, it was his Christian testimony. And, God bless him. God rest him. So I think he's getting the Medal of Freedom either today or soon. There'll be a ceremony for that at the White House with Erica, Charlie's widow. So, all right. Lots of love coming in for our peanut gallery from Scoosy's Coast. We just love that. Let's see what else we got. Okay, what's this complicit media headline?
It's just how they portrayed the situation with Benny Johnson being threatened.
Oh, okay. Let's do
and how the media described it.
Yeah, so this is what got Charlie Kirk killed. So I guess more of the same nonsense.
Yeah.
People threatening to kill them. Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at this story, Blake, and see what we got here. Okay, let's go here because kids can't read it. Got to make her big. Okay, and I could probably make it bigger. Yeah. The left-wing terrorist that committed a crime by threatening to kill my family is simply called a man by NBC. But I'm framed as a conservative influencer with deep ties to the Trump administration. Deep ties. Oh, my God. This is coded language by NBC to signal that my family deserved it. So fucking accurate. If you got eyes to see, ears to hear, I pick up what he's laying down. NBC News, quote, federal authorities charge a man with sending a threatening letter to the home of a conservative influencer as deep ties to the Trump. Ooh, insidious ties, those deep, dark, foreboding ties to Donald Trump. Ooh, scary. Mommy, he's orange. Make him go away. I'm scared. Like, thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, we know how the media works. This is who they are. This is, as I said, you just played the production, the managed, and I'm not saying all media. I'm talking about legacy media, what we call regime media, the consolidated media. This is how they act against anybody they deem a threat to their power, to their base. And what's interesting, we were talking about the media. When I'm reading that, I'm thinking about why they want to shut down. Like, it's like, picture they're trying to put 1,000 fingers in the dike as it's blowing open across all along the dam. It's there's leaks everywhere, and because that's what free speech does. And think about what they're trying to do. It's kind of like the social media in a lot of ways is like the new Gutenberg press, right? It's allowed people to read the Bible, right, and understand it in a language they understand. Very similar, and back before, so people understand the Protestant Revolution and how Bibles got into the hands of everybody in a language they could understand, is because the way it worked before was it was all in the hands of a few, and they would speak Latin. So you never understood what the heck they were talking about.
Yeah, the mass.
And so you would be completely under the control of the hands of a few. And soon as that opened up, that was one, I think, it was Time, I think, one of them, I can't remember, one of the marked it as the greatest change in history was the arrival of the Gutenberg press. And so social media is doing the same thing. It's decentralizing power, allowing it to get into the hands of everyone. And as Elon Musk has correctly said, is like, we are the media now. You individual, everybody talking to each other, giving their ideas. It's now the arena of free thought. But the power and control, we're seeing them trying to lock that down, keep it into the hands of their propaganda machines, and they continue to do this. So anybody who's a free speech advocate is an enemy of the state. I mean, essentially of the state that's been in power for a long time. The floodgates are starting to collapse. I'm sure they're screaming at Trump behind the scenes. We can't do this. It's a national security, Mr. President. Every day he's probably hearing that crap. And they're going, no. He's going, no, it's not. Free speech is good. He's got Elon Musk promoting free speech.
He's got a lot of good people with this administration.
All working to push that message out there that you're allowed to have an opinion. Our Constitution says so.
Yeah.
Canada has it as well. The UK actually has it, but they're trying to redefine it, and that's the danger.
The UK's removed from the US scene, so they've got an ocean, so they can play around more. Canada, I don't believe, has the luxury that the UK does. If you had a communist, if you had Venezuela on America's border, America's already sending the U.S. Navy is off the coast of Venezuela, keeping an eye on what the hell's going on down there. They're blowing boats out of the water. Do you think America's going to allow a Venezuelan type autocratic, dictatorial, despotic, communist regime to set up house on its border? Not on President Trump's watch, mister.
They did under Biden's watch.
Yeah, they do under Biden. That's right. They do, because that would be all part and parcel of the one big blue message. So they're all happy with it. But
that's what they do. They survive under a crisis. I mean, that's the saying: create a crisis and manage it. That's
Canada, as long as you've got a patriotic, as long as you've got a Trump-like administration and successor, a JD Vance administration, there's no way Canada will ever be able to function.
I hope
to the autocratic extent they want to. I just can't see America allowing it. That's the kind of thing that would allow America to go, well, we're boots on the ground. There's only 44 million of them tops. Let's go in. They don't have any military force. Let's just take it over. Because you're going to get people like me serving them crumpets. Yeah. Come on in, patriots. Here. All right, Father Red White, welcome to my house. Sue keeps threatening to fly the American flag over our little abode, our domicile here. I would like nothing better.
Next, your neighbors are all flying Ukrainian flags.
Yeah,
they would get mad at you for that one.
And they would get so mad. But I would love to. you know, if I don't want to offend that neighbor, but I would love to put up an American flag, the biggest fucking American flag you can think of, and fly it proudly over here. And then have, you know, at Halloween, they have the projectors here, or Christmas, you can put the light. I want Trump and MAGA and all this sort of stuff, you know, flashing on my house, you know, hooray for the red, white. Anyway, holy smoke, do it all up, you know. Betsy Ross, little Betsy Ross knitting the flag out in the stoop.
That actually, a Wolfie's point there. I kind of want to tie that to Canada as well, because I would hope.
Do it, Blake. Take it away.
I think I would love to. I wanted to say that I hope JD Vance makes it very public about Canada's legislation and warns them off, like he told Starmer, to stop arresting people for free speech. Now, I hope America will do something like they said they were going to do, is start locking out the British ambassadors and any of the people that are needing to get visas to travel to the U.S. or travel to the U.S. So we're going to start blocking them because of what Starmer is doing to its own people over free speech. We need that. Please, JD Vance, just by a fraction of a hope you're hearing this, please yell loudly across the border into Canada and saying America will not tolerate that kind of legislation on their border.
I just don't think it's going to happen. And like you were saying yourself, like with Carney handing the keys to the kingdom over to Trump, I think something like that's going to come down the pike long before any of this nonsense. Actually, there's dynamic forces at work. On one hand, you got the WAF wrestling us into control. On the other hand, you got Trump's influence coming in, tariffing us. You know, our job markets are dead. Teenagers can't get a job. We're losing. The auto industry's dead. Our lumber's not going anywhere. We have no oil coming out of the ground. I mean, it's pathetic. Canada is DOA, and we're at a crisis point, as you yourself said earlier in the show, unfucking sustainable. This country cannot go on the way it's going on. It is on the verge of collapsing and defaulting into what? Who knows? Autocratic, dictatorial World Economic Forum satellite with a helping of control and manipulation by the Chinese, who just bought up 17,000 square miles of territory in Prince Edward Island. Come on. Not going to fly. America won't allow for it.
Well, do you think Carney will cave? Apparently, there's lots of media. They're trying to say China will take the tariffs off of our canola if we allow Chinese EVs in there. Would that be a national security threat to the U.S. to have Chinese EVs coming into Canada?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, well, we'll see what Trump says, right? Trump controls North America. Make no mistake.
Yeah.
The Americans control the continent. If anything, nothing happens here unless the Americans allow it to happen. If they don't want it to happen, it won't happen. It really won't. If America really doesn't want something to happen, it's impossible to take place, because America is just too big, too strong, too powerful, and can beat us up, 20 ways to Sunday. We have no recoil. Oh, we're going to hit back. We look like the poor little gay guy working the punching bag. You've seen the clips. That's Canada trying to punch back.
Canada's a little old lady. I remember back in the 70s going on a bus. It would be like the little old lady that elbows the whole line of everybody out of the way to go on first. That's the elbows up Canada right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I see we've hit the 1 o'clock mark. I want to thank, even though we got in a couple of minutes later, but I'm really good to go. I just finished a fast for my part, Blake. I do a 24-hour fast 1 day a week. You're interested in losing weight, folks? Get involved. It helps out, gives a kick to the metabolism. We will be back Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be sitting here on Friday. I'm going to be where Sue normally sits.
The laptop over there.
Or we might move this laptop here to run the show out. Yeah, I could probably do it there. Anyway, because I'm not selling, I'm giving this computer to my son. I need something that allows me to stream with more power. I always get a little nervous when I'm sharing the links here. This is a all-in-one Hewlett-Packard system that I'm using. And so we're going for an upgrade, a big upgrade, and it'll allow us more power, more to do. And I'm thinking of getting an even better camera. This is a 922C, I believe they call it, from Logitech. It's a nice camera. I think we can do a little bit better, bring a little more ambience into things, and I get a bigger monitor anyway. So that's all due in about 10 days time, Blake. So
awesome.
So on Friday, I'll be on the other laptop.
Go dual monitor.
Huh?
Go dual monitors.
Yeah, well, I've got a little laptop off to the side, but I'm all good with this. I don't have to get that
Yeah,
schmancy.
tell them to hit the like button, you bastards.
Canada's going to go down tonight in the football. Holy smokes, North America soccer. Are we playing? I don't even cheer for Canada anymore. I normally like to cheer against Canada these days.
Well, I'm cheering for the Mariners over the Blue Jays. So
go Mariners!
Yeah,
go
go
Seattle.
Mariners.
Well, they're closer to us anyway.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Subscribe if you're new around here. And give us a thumbs up. We're a small effort, but it gives us a chance to speak our minds on a lot of important issues. God bless President Trump. Thank God for the release of those hostages. That alone is worthy of the Peace Prize, in my opinion. No mean achievement. God, what a